Lee Moser, thank you so much for joining me. How are you? How's the last few days been?
Um, very busy, tired, working from 7th of October. Not a lot of sleep, very worried, but also encouraging by all the people that I see here with us volunteering at
Yeah,
Brothers and Sisters for Israel.
yeah. Okay, so right before we dive into Brothers and Sisters for Israel, take me a little bit to, what do you actually do in the day to day,
Oh.
outside of the war? And then I'd love to understand, where were you in the morning of October 7th? Where did this meet you, everything that happened?
So I have a fund. I'm a managing partner at N Ventures, together with my partner Roy. And we manage a fund and a venture studio, and we invest in early stage Israeli startups. This is what we do daily. And on 7th of October, I actually woke up at 6:30 from a siren. I thought, again, another regular war from Gaza. And quickly I saw the picture from the field of terrorists within the road and the kibbutzim. And I woke up my husband, who is the founder of Brothers and Sisters for Israel and Brothers in Arm. And I was like, something going on, which is not right. And this is how we started our day. And in a few hours, we understand that we're issuing something that we never issued, like we never faced it before in the history of Israel, and started to immediately organize what we do here. Um, and being worried about our families and our friends that are out there in the front in the north and in Gaza. And that's what happened.
Incredible. And so fast forward to today, and then we'll sort of backtrack, and I'd love to hear the story of how this whole thing came about. But what's happening today with Brothers and Sisters for Israel? What is this operation? Where are you right now? Tell me a little bit about what's happening here.
Sure. So Brother and Sister for Israel, it's today the biggest civilian organization. It's actually started during the protest for the jurisdictionary judiciary reform, and gained hundreds of thousands of followers. And then when the war began, we shifted everything that we do towards supporting the IDF and the civilians, no matter what. And since we had tons of followers, it became the biggest organization on ground today with 15,000 volunteers. We get probably 20,000 requests a day from civilians and from soldiers, from any between evacuating them under fire to giving them clothes and food and support and psychological support and anything. And it's really it's basically we fill the gap until the government will wake up and will be able to move faster, and then they will.
Right, right. That's incredible. Okay, so this massive operation. How many people are involved with it? Shine some light on the impact that this has had already on it. On
Sure.
the over the last 11 days.
So as I said, it's about 15,000 daily volunteers. We have about 1,000 people at the headquarters, divided to about 40 different teams. People that evacuated and responsible for the families, people that are responsible for the psychology, people that are responsible for the kidnapped and missing. There are 500 people working at the tech headquarters here looking for any kind of reference or clue of where those people went, right? We have about 200 something people in Gaza, but still about 600 people that are missing.
Sababa. Okay, great. And so tell me a little bit about what is happening there more tangibly on the ground. So if you were to walk into this to the place where you have 1,000 people headquarters, what would you see? What's happening there?
The huge headquarters, it's in a high-tech co-working space called the Mixer. As I said, my husband is the founder of the organization. He's also giving the interface. And it's actually working as a tech company. So you enter, you have the headquarters, you have the entire team, you have the logistic team, you have the fundraising team, you have the tech team responsible for the entire data. You have the tech team, deep tech, open net, and also dark net, looking at the missing and kidnapped people. You have a huge warehouse where you get goods and you send them away. And basically, this whole place is based on all the data that we get from the needs in the field right now, both citizen and also soldiers. As I said, it's tens of thousands of requests a day, and we're trying to see what the needs, buy it, distribute it, all by volunteers. So this is what we have today. Everything from everything. And now we're trying to basically connect to the right organization, to the government, and give them the data that we have and the support, and also, fundraising the resource that we need to be able to continue and do that in the next year.
Walk me through the progression of the growth of this and how this emerged to be now a 15,000 person organization with 1,000 people headquarters. Walk me through from October 7th. So I want people that weren't there, that weren't in Israel, to really understand how did the Startup Nation come together in this context. I think it's a really important piece of this.
I'm smiling because I think the Startup Nation became the volunteering nation. We have half of the funds here, the managing partners, working here. We have all the big companies, not all, but a lot of the tech big companies are volunteering here. We have veterans from the army that were commanders, very high rank, and also not a very high rank. People from logistics, people just came. People are coming here and they're standing and they want to do something, want to be a part. First day, thousands. So people start taking initiative and ownership about things that they know how to do, right? You know how to buy things from the US. You start buying things for the needs in the field. And then people start gathering teams around them. So for example, me, right, I have a fund. We have great investors. I immediately send them an email. This is what we do. This is what we need. And then in 2 days, I had a team of 35 people fundraising for this whole organization, from the entire team of Goldman Sachs in Israel to different fund managers and different people that do it for many, many years. So it was a little bit spontaneous, like in Israel, Startup Nation, you have an idea, you start running. So this is really what happened here. It's still its entire, growth and just growing around every day.
What surprised you and what happened? If you start looking now back at these 11 days, what were some moments that perhaps took you by surprise or that shined light on sort of new realizations of where we're at?
The magnitude of the event and people that are the magnitude of being the event, both from like the disaster that we had here. Really sad. It's like a horror movie. Entire families, babies were being raised. That's the most terrible stories in the world, but also the magnitude of people that are volunteering. So people are coming together, doesn't matter left, right, political views, and trying to make sure that we support our soldiers and we support our people, no matter what. So this is huge. It's huge.
From an organizational perspective, growing to a logistical arm and an operation of the magnitude that you have, how does that take place? I mean, what do you have to do to get, what are the elements that need to come together so that a group of people, a huge group of people, can come together the way that it did now?
People basically giving everything that they can. They working 24/7. So I think first is devotion, second is professionalism. You do what you're good at, right? So I guess people are coming and say, I'm good at that. I can manage that. I can grow into that. And this is what you need as a beginning. As the organization will evolve, and we'll become into a practice. So, eventually a lot of us, we need to go back to our daily routine, and they would be the professional team to handle with it. But it's probably takes more.
And so when you have now, obviously this is a dynamic situation, and we every day that goes by, we learn more about the conflict and the war and the needs of our soldiers and the needs of what's happening. So when new needs arise and when there's new opportunities to support and to help, how does this now trickle down to an operation that you're able to, within hours potentially, provide your support in a meaningful way? What happens from sort of a leadership or management perspective that allows you to be this dynamic and this nimble? Because I think that's a really unique ability that you've created here.
It is, but I think it's also what you basically mentioned at the beginning of being a startup nation and being a part of this country that create great solutions and great technology that are disrupting the world is also the initiative or of stepping forward and doing what it needs to be done, no matter what. And this is what you see here. So it's a matter of culture. I'm going to step forward and I'm going to take an initiative and I'm going to take a responsibility. Okay, if it's taking care of 60,000 families here, we have 40 people in the team taking care of refugees, or it's taking care of the data, or it's taking care of the fundraise, or it's taking care of managing this organization. People are stepping forward as they do in their private life and in their business sector. And it's something that I think is very unique to Israel.
Okay, tell me a little bit about your own experience. So you're managing a fund in the day-to-day, you're investing in startups. All of a sudden, you find yourself immersed in this. Yes, your husband is also, he's been running, but you're fully in, and I'm seeing it 24/7 from your end. What has this been like for you, on a personal level?
First of all, it's very hard. I have 2 young daughters, 5 and 3, and they're home with my parents and babysitter, and I miss them a lot. But I know I have a sense of mission and I need to be here. Second, I have a great partner and an amazing team that are supporting me and giving me the back to do that in past 2 weeks, which I know that my business is okay. And we're supporting our founders, and this is a whole entire operation, Probably like half of our founders are in the front. So we want to support and want to make sure that nothing is dropping, and whatever we can do, from a CTO perspective that we have to financials that we have a CFO, we do that. And I really trust my team. We've been running for 3.5 years. They have my back, and I can't wait to go back to the office and sit with them and do investment committee. And actually what we do now is we basically want to invest more money into early stage startup to fuel the economy and make sure that we also do good by our industry. So this is something that we're running right now. I just want to say that we decided also to support our ecosystem. So we're going to invest in our studio in 5 different startups in the next 2-3 weeks. $200,000 in each, very early stage company, to make sure that our ecosystem and our culture and what we're proud of for the past few years is keep on going and being supported by the investor and investment side.
Incredible. So if somebody looking from the outside, what is perhaps the most important thing that they need to know about your work with Brothers and Sisters for Israel and what's been happening here over the 11 days? What is sort of the underlying sort of understanding that they should walk away with?
2,700 families been rescued from areas under fire. Elderly women with kids that their husband are either dead or in the army. 5 logistics warehouse huge from donation and from stuff that we start buying for the field. 150,000 meals for refugees and people that are evacuated and for soldiers. 40,000 ceramic vests that we bought and distributed through the army to our soldiers on ground. And now 4 different civil aid initiatives that we're starting to build from the field.
Incredible. Great. Well, Lee, thank you so much. I know you're terribly busy. I know you're right outside of where this whole operation is taking place. And so thank you for spending this time, and thank you for all the amazing work that you're doing. I know you haven't slept in 11 days, and praying all for better days. Thank you very much.